The winter sports season is underway, and we are excited to begin our AD podcast for the winter season. Today, we'll talk about your Sycamore Aviators with AD Andrew Ovington. Andrew, how are we doing this afternoon?
Doing outstanding. How are you, Rob?
Good. Yesterday felt like spring out there. I thought the tulips were going to pop.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, it was nice out there. I was able to get my Christmas decorations all wrapped up and finalized and be outside a little bit, so that was helpful.
Nice. That's always good when you get a balmy day to hang lights. Hey,
Yep.
before we jump into uh, winter sports season and cover all the goings of your winter sports. I know you guys had a big announcement from the athletic department relative to football, and Coach Totillo deserves a little recognition and all his great years of service and just an outstanding coach and individual. And I just thought we'd touch briefly on it.
Sure. Yeah. Coach Attilo retired last week. He's been our head football coach for 19 years. Me personally, he's a friend. He's a mentor to me when I was a head basketball coach here a few years back. So it's a big loss for Sycamore just because of all the great things he's done, above and beyond just the wins and everything like that. Just the his ability to lead our young men these last several years will definitely be something that we will miss here, and it'll be big shoes to fill. That's for sure.
And then I did read in the article from Mike Dyer that Scott's going to stay in the building and continue teaching for now.
Yep, he's going to keep teaching math. How long I don't know in terms of his retirement. That'll be up to him, but still in the building. Yep.
So you still have that resource, and for a lot of people that he's helped along the way, he's been a great asset for Sycamore athletics.
Yep. Yep. I'm sure he was inundated with phone calls, texts, emails from all the people that he's touched throughout the last several years. So.
No question. Just real briefly on the process on going through and naming Coach Datillo's replacement. Where are you in that process? And if anybody's watching this that may be interested in applying, how's just an update on that?
Yeah, we're taking applications in through next week, and then we'll start going through those, making calls and setting up interviews. Just because the way the holidays lie and Christmas and New Year's in the middle of the week, we'll wait to start those probably January 6th. And then if you're interested, you can email myself, ovingtona@sycamoreschools.org, and you can email me your interest, resume, references, all that fun stuff. And
Great.
it's also live on Track as well.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I think that's great. And put a nice bow around that. And all the best to Coach Attillo and all the wonderful things that he has done. And he's not going to know what to do with himself on a Friday night, but I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Figure it out. Yep, exactly.
I'm sure he will. Well, let's jump into winter season. We'll go through. There's not a lot going on, but they have started. So just an overview of where we are. We'll start with basketball. Let's go boys basketball. That looks like they have two games under their belt. Let's talk a little bit about boys basketball.
Yeah, boys basketball, they played in that opening tournament at Mason over Thanksgiving break. They played a team from called Colonial. They're from Florida. Really good game. Colonial shot extremely well. I think they hit 15 threes or something like that in that game.
Ooh,
That might be close, but yeah, something like that. So they shot really well. And, we got our guys adjusting to new roles. We don't have Raleigh Burgess anymore. And so some guys got to step up and fill those shoes.
sure.
And so, we'll get there over time, but play Lakota East on Friday in a tough game. And yeah, just continue to get better. And, the GMC is not forgiving. So we'll just keep on moving forward and keep getting better. So I know we got a
I'm
lot of
just
guys
looking
that
at
are,
that schedule in early December. I'm like, look at all those back-to-back GMC games. Boy, it's a grind before
yep,
you can get to the first of the year.
yep, yep.
So best of luck to them. They'll find their roles. Having Riley gone, somebody's got to step up. So someone will. So good luck to them
They
as
will.
the season unfolds. Let's go girls basketball. They had the Queen City tip-off. Looks like, wow, two really good games, and then they're jumping right into GMC play.
Yeah, they played a couple tough opponents there. Dayton Carroll and Beaver Creek, both good winning programs over the last couple of years. And then they got their first win over the weekend against Middletown. They played out there. So similar, with our girls program, we have, a few freshmen that are playing big minutes. And so anytime you're playing freshmen in the GMC, there's definitely a learning curve. And I'm really excited to see that development of just not only those freshmen but also our juniors and seniors and how they develop as a group throughout the course of the season. So they'll be fun to watch as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, it's really GMC basketball is going to be really strong, boys and girls this year. So it's going to be
No
fun to
question.
going
No
to be fun
question.
to watch. So let's go over to competitive cheer. I know you had mentioned before we went live that they had some early success that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so we haven't talked since October, and early November, our cheer squad qualified for nationals, which is held at Walt Disney World in Orlando. So that's the first time I think in school history that they've qualified for that. So we're really excited to see how that kind of develops, and that'll be in February. So we're really excited for our cheer squad and all the great things they're doing as well.
Boy, how exciting is that for them? Well, that's nice.
They were thrilled, that's for sure. They deserve it. They worked their tails off.
That's fantastic. Let's go to the mat. Let's talk wrestling. Um, Things are just getting started with wrestling. It looks like there was a duel on Saturday at Elder, and then well, it looks like it might have been a split squad based on the schedule I'm looking at. Maybe duel at Elder, and then an invitational at Lakota East.
Yeah, our varsity was at Elder, and then I think it was our JV was at Lakota East, and our girls also competed over the weekend at Ironman. So, yeah, they're off and rolling. But similar with our boys wrestling team, just like the boys basketball team has to replace Raleigh, our boys wrestling team has to replace a two-time state champion with Eugene. So I'm excited to see some guys kind of step up, and some of our girls as well step up, and take advantage of the opportunity this year and see how they develop.
But the numbers with girls wrestling are certainly on the rise, and all these shows I do with the different ADs talking about how girls wrestling is really on the climb, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely is.
Sounds great. Let's jump in the pool. Let's talk swimming and diving. Now, is this the second season for swimming and diving or first season? I can't.
In our pool,
Yes,
first season. So yeah, we opened up the pool this past July. So this will
yes.
be their first year back in the pool. So just like water polo was extremely excited back in the fall, our swim dive is equally excited. So it's nice not have to drive over to Princeton for practices and meets and everything like that. But it's definitely been nice.
I can't wait to you once you bring in some of the student athletes and when there's a swimmer. I can't wait because I know when I asked the water polo players the smile they got on their face that they didn't have to get into a car to go to practice.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, they were so thrilled and they just love the new pool and I'm sure the swimmers are going to be exactly the same way.
yep,
And
yep.
it's good for them. One of my favorite winter sports is bowling. Girls and boys bowling. It's a life sport that they can do forever and ever. And I just love the growth in the OHSA with bowling. And if you have not been out to see a bowling match for high school, I encourage you go to Crossgate Lanes, look it out, and go. And you will walk to your car so pleased that you went because the cheering and the Baker games and it goes fast and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually, I went last week to our girls' match against Ursuline, and that was the first bowling match I've ever been to. And to your point, it definitely is exciting. The girls got excited. They're doing cheers and things like that. They're having fun. It was fun to watch. And I know for our girls program, I think our boys as well, we have extremely high numbers this year for both those programs. So just excited to watch them throughout the course of the year.
Isn't it just great that you have student athletes who are putting Sycamore on their chest, that there may not be a sport in the winter that they typically would compete to support the school. They're making friends, they're competing, and it's something that they can do for the rest of their life. And it's great fun. It's such a sleeper of a sport, I think.
I agree. I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's fantastic. I highly encourage anybody to go out and watch some high school bowling because it's a blast. Let's go to the chess team, and they have had several matches, and it looks like actually they just had the GMC championships that you guys hosted last week. So yeah, that's an early winter. It's almost a fall sport. But let's talk chess team. How was the season?
Yeah, as a fall winter hybrid sport, they actually went through the first round of the season undefeated. And so on GMC championships, which were last week, we held those here at our Gregory Center. They lost to Mason. I think it was round 3 or 4. So them and Mason tied, which made them GMC co-champs. So we're pretty excited that we got a GMC championship under our belt already for winter season.
Perfect.
First time since 2015-16 for our chess team, so it's been a while. And our head coach Scott Eckert won GMC Coach of the Year. So a lot of good things happening in chess. So
Well, that's
good start to the
fantastic.
winter season.
That is fantastic. Great start. Let's go in indoor track. I know they're training, but it doesn't look like they have their first meet until Mount St. Joe in January. But I know it. Let's talk about them, and because I know that they're working hard and anxious for that first meet.
Yep, exactly. They just started last week. They had their first official practices, and Coach Ray and Coach Shomo do a great job with those kiddos and getting them ready and keeping them interested. Some of them from cross country, some of them in spring track, and just keeping them participating and working hard. And they're fun to watch. And I know our coaches are passionate about building those kids, so it'll be fun to watch them in January.
Perfect. Let's wrap up this week's show. Academic team, which is huge in the GMC. They don't start until the first of the year, but we'll be covering them once we do our third podcast, which will be in January. But I'm sure numbers are large, and Sycamore always does very well with the AQT.
Yeah, we're excited about AQT starting in January. We got a new coach, Mr. Helsinger, who's one of our social studies teachers here. He was pretty excited to get this new gig, and he's building the numbers as well. Been meeting with them and practicing already, so excited to see them kick off here in January.
That's fantastic. Well, Andrew, thank you for your time today. Good luck to the Aviators as everything gets underway. We'll have one more show in December, which is next week, and we'll take a break and get back in January. Have a great week. Thanks for your time. And as always, go Aviators and get everything you need at sycamoreaviators.org.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you.